Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, as well as the elder bishops who labored to teach us this truth. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth, sincerity, and indeed. Your brother Chapatazar from the Great Millstone Chicago branch, coming at you with a real quick, Lord willing, edifying lesson. All right, and this is going to be really quick, but it's just something that jumped out to me. Just going over this again. And one of the brothers, I want to say it was Amawan Gabar, the big bro out there in New York, he had mentioned this account. And, it just made me think, how great an example of faith this was to, how great an example of faith this was, of a widow, Yeah, how great of an example this was to of a widow, man, and it's like to the sisters out there, this is an example. All right. Would you be willing to do this? All right. We have to put ourselves in our mind's eye. We have to envision what's going on when we read these scriptures, man. All right. So let's get this account. It's talking about the prophet Elijah. All right. And what he did for a widow and her great example of faith and obedience to him. Right. All right. So this is after the Lord had commanded him to go to the brook. I forget where. And the brook dried up. The ravens was feeding them. So cold. Right. So after the brook dried up, this is 1 Kings 17:9. And the word Yahweh came to him saying, arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. So this is a widow. Okay. All right. To put it in today's layman's terms. All right. This was a single mother. All right. So this is an account of a single mother. All right. A widow that was in complete obedience and showed faith to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the man of God. Right. It says, verse 10, so he arose and went to Zarephath, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel that I may drink. So he asked her, hey, let me get some water. She don't even know him. OK, it just goes to show how much respect there was for men back in the ancient world. All right. She didn't know this dude, but he just asked her, hey, let me get some water to drink. Verse 11. And as she was going to fetch it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine telling some random so-called black, hey, let me get some water? She gonna look at you crazy as hell, man. Crazy as hell. And it's a famine. It hasn't rained. When you go into the account, there's a famine in the land. It hasn't rained for an extended period of time. So, if there's no rain, there's a dearth. There's no crops, So it says, and as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thy hand. So not only give me a drink of water, hey, let me get a little something to eat to put on my stomach. It says, and she said, as Yahweh thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. Okay. So this is a famine. This is a very desperate situation that she's in, but she still showed obedience to the man of the Lord. All right. And told him, like, look, man, we ain't got nothing. I'm finna make a little something to eat for me and my son. Hey, we just gonna eat this and die. All right. What did Elijah say? And Elijah said to her, fear not, and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it to me, and after make for thee and thy son. Now that's powerful. That's powerful. I was on social media. You want to know one of the controversies amongst you Israelites? Said after a woman makes dinner, who eats first, the man or the kids? You know how many of these bitches said the kids? And you know how many of these bitch ass niggas agreed and said the kids? The kids? You know how many, like, what? Look at where we at now, man. Look at where we at. And the tree is green. Everybody saying, oh, you know, the kids should eat first. Folly, man. Madness. Right? But what did this woman do? It said, for thus saith Yahweh, power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that Yahweh sendeth rain upon earth. Okay? Verse 15, and she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. That is great faith. That takes great faith and obedience to do that in such a time of desperation and scarcity, man. She did what that man of the Lord told her to do, man. So and she's written about, you see, and they ate many days. These are the times that we coming into, man. And this is an example of a so-called of what a modern day, all right, a modern day equivalent. This is an example of what a single mother did for a man of the Lord in the midst of famine, man. Okay. And what? She believed. She believed. And so this is what those elect ladies out there, hey, you gotta go over things like this. You gotta bring these things into mind, man. It's a whole lot going on in this passage right here, man. Faith and obedience, man. Okay? That's a lot of faith and obedience. Okay? And that's going to be what is required of you sisters. Okay? Faith and obedience. But I ain't going to drag it out. Just wanted to touch on that, man. Hopefully this was edifying. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash. Shalom, the Bible.